join PTA?
You can talk into this. I'm sorry, honey. I can't.
Sorry. Why join PTA? Like,
Why
you know
join
what I mean?
PTA?
Like,
Okay, good. Yeah. And then there. Now go live. Oh, you are live?
We are live, but it's not working.
Oh.
This is the intro.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
What's it doing? Intro.
It goes back to that.
Oh, okay. I guess just we don't have to do the intro then. No, just go live.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Is it working?
It says muted.
Oh, it says we've been live for 60 seconds?
Well,
for a minute?
It says,
well, no, right here, we're not muted because see the
not?
green. Do we need to pull it up
we're
on
good.
Facebook?
No, we're good. We're good.
Are you sure? Do we need to pull it up?
Good morning.
Well, that wasn't our fault that time. It's usually our fault if we have technical difficulties.
It's usually happens.
Good morning, everyone. This is Alice Hachtel.
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 a
You
tricky
literally just told me, and then I said it wrong again.
It's totally fine.
I feel like I need to put, I always put the T before the C. That's the problem. The C before the T, Hachtel.
It's just tricky.
It is tricky.
Yeah,
But good
it's fine.
morning.
Good morning.
So do you want to do a little introduction and tell us or tell our followers or whatever who you are?
Oh, sure. Like, what do you think they would want to know?
So you're a member of the PTA.
Yes, I am the vice president of the PTA this year.
Nice. And how many years have you been doing that?
I was the secretary for 2 years pre-COVID, then just a member. Not just a member. Members are important. And then this year is my first year being an officer.
And before that, you were a kindergarten teacher.
Yes, I taught kindergarten for 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So what made you stop being a kindergarten teacher?
I had a baby.
Okay. So you were a stay-at-home mom for a couple
I was
years?
a stay-at-home mom for a decade.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
my youngest he's in first grade.
Okay.
You're first graders.
Yes. Oh, yeah. We all have boys
We
in the
all
same.
have first graders and their boys.
Yes. Yeah, that's so crazy. And they're all playing football together.
Yes.
And they played t-ball together.
Yes.
And they went to basketball camp together.
And your husband is a saint for doing all the coaching.
He said that he's been coming down a little bit harder on the kids this year because he said, I didn't go to practice last night, but he said there was a kid that was being a knucklehead. And he said, run a lap. But like the old Phil would have been like, excuse me, you need to focus. But he's like, I'm all worn in like an old glove.
It's my favorite saying.
And he's all worn in now with the kids. And he's like, no, I'm not putting up with it. Like,
I love that.
You know, concentrate or go run a lap.
Well, yeah, first
and he said it
graders.
kind of caught him off guard. He was like, wait, what?
I
I have to do what now?
love
It's so
that.
funny though watching the kids do their sports and stuff. But I love it when they're getting to be they're older now, so they understand more. They're more into it, you know.
And
Phil,
it just gets better.
I can't wait.
Because I feel like it's probably not kind, but I call these like the ugly years where they're
Right.
like figuring it all out. And
Yes.
my oldest is a sixth grader, and so now it's like fun.
Oh, I bet.
Because they look like they're
Well,
playing their parts.
and with Parker, Parker and my lane, we both have lanes, but Parker and Lane they have such a big age gap. So whenever Parker was little, like Andrew's age, well, maybe not 2, but maybe like 3, I had him in like soccer, like Happy Feet and stuff. I'm like, I'm not doing that again. I guess I thought, oh my gosh, like you have to start them this little or else they're never going to get the hang of it.
I remember feeling like panicky, which I'm embarrassed to use that word, when Lane was 3 and I hadn't signed him up for anything yet. And I look back like, sometimes I want to my first time mom self.
Oh, I know. Absolutely.
I just don't know.
So well, and I was going to say first time moms that are listening, don't do that.
Oh, I learned my lesson with Aiden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
He
or I was
was
going to
just
say, you didn't learn with Alex because Alex is your oldest
Alex
one.
didn't do sports though because we lived on base and the sports were kind of weird.
Okay.
So he didn't play his first sport until soccer last year.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So
Oh, wow. So
Yeah.
he was a little bit older then. Okay.
Yeah.
See, Parker was so little and Happy Feet.
5.
And it was, he had a good time and all, but they're chasing butterflies. They're not paying attention.
The
'cause
only
they don't
sport,
have-
the only sport I've been able to get Aiden to actually stick with and play is t-ball.
Which is surprising because T-ball can be kind of boring.
Well, I know, and what's funny is last summer he played t-ball, and it was a little bit more of like the chasing butterflies type thing. Like I remember one time he was sitting in the field just picking flowers.
Yes.
That's my kid.
Yes.
But I signed him up for basketball because he said he wanted to play basketball. One practice, hits in the face, doesn't go back.
Right.
Then, but the thing is he's just like, I want to play soccer because he kept calling baseball soccer. And I just say it's because he has Mom's blood in him. You know, like Mom played soccer her whole life. So that's probably what it is.
Yeah.
But then I signed him up for soccer and I was like, we're not doing this ever again.
Did he finish out that season?
No.
He didn't?
He went to one game, scored for the other team, went to 2 practices, and refused to play.
Oh, no. See, that's why it's like, don't push
But then he
it.
played T-ball.
That's wild that he stuck with that.
Yeah, but Andrew will not be playing a sport till he's 4.
Yeah.
There's too many of them.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't blame you. Well, because even Parker even did T-ball whenever he was little, 3.5, 4. And, yeah, I mean, there was really no point.
Ridiculous.
I mean, he didn't understand what's going on.
Like, Andrew.
Yeah. Well, and he would
just run the other. He would just leave.
He's like, I don't know what we're doing out here. No. Get me out of here.
He would just leave.
Yeah. So, speaking of the PTA, so this is how we got the conversation started because we were at football practice, and like other moms, I'm sure you guys received the letter in the mail saying, "Do you want to join the PTA?" So I asked Alice, like, well, if I do join the PTA, what does that mean? What does it come with? So you want to tell us what that means if we were to pay the $5 and become a member?
Yeah, it really is just a way to stay informed of what's going on. Excuse me. At the schools, we have a lot of events that we do, and we send out information on those events or opportunities to volunteer for those events. And I think it's just a way to get, if you want to be involved with the kids' school. And it's just a good opportunity to know what's going on. I know a lot of people feel like they don't really know what's going on, and it's just another opportunity to.
Hey, I'm one of those people because whenever Parker was my first, so whenever he started kindergarten and we got the PTA letter, I honestly, if I'm being honest, because I've never been in the school system or anything like that, and I'm like, what is the PTA? Like, what does it do? I say I've never been in the school system. I obviously went to school, but my mom never was involved. No. My mom wasn't involved in the PTA. And so I'm the youngest of 4 kids. So she didn't, and she, worked a lot. So she never got involved in that way. So I didn't know what it is or how to get, what it does or anything like that. So, and you said that so the PTA is over all the schools.
All 3 elementary schools.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. And you said you've been
K through 6.
And you've been trying to place homeroom moms.
Yes.
So how's that going?
I was really pleasantly surprised as I started. I haven't contacted anybody, so don't think if you haven't been contacted, you didn't get the PTA homeroom mom or parent position. But I have had a really good response. So
good.
Yeah, and like you said, for like working, there are a lot of working moms, but I feel like just because you can't volunteer your time during the day all the time, like it's still a good way to like know what's going on. We have like sign up geniuses for different things where you can send things in or just a way to
So and speaking of homeroom mom, if anyone is interested in being a homeroom mom, can you tell us a little bit more like what would that all entail?
So mainly throwing the parties. We have 4 parties a year, and it's really simple. Like there are many ways to do it, so there's not a wrong way or a right way to do it, but the way I like to do it is just I plan it, create a sign-up genius, and send it to my teacher, and she can send it out to everybody, no matter if you're just all the classroom parents. You don't have to be a PTA member to get that information about the parties. But, so then parents can send in stuff, and now, thankfully, people can come back in and volunteer at the parties. And I like to do little stations. And
now
mainly it's planning.
Is it bad that I want to do it again?
Are you going to do it again?
I don't know. I haven't sent in my sheet yet.
Well, you got to get in this sheet. Oh, we have a PTA membership drive happening right now, which if you haven't heard from your teachers yet, will probably, I think it was in the primary newsletter, maybe from Mrs. Beckler. But the classes, each class, the winning class per grade level, so like the class with the most PTA memberships will get a party. So it's kind of like an incentive for like, join the PTA.
When do I need to get my form in?
So the deadline is the 16th.
She'll be midnight.
So you're not going to pick homeroom moms until then?
Well, I've already got a list started, but I have not assigned anybody. So you let me know who your
Megan will submit her form
at
September 16th at midnight.
I have it in. She's not wrong. No,
11:59 p.m.
No, I'll send it in Monday. But now you know. I could do it.
And there's an online, there's a link in the principal's like
newsletter.
There's just a link, so you can do it online too. You don't have to send in a form.
Oh, there you go.
I know. Oh no,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
so now you'll know.
Yeah.
that I want to be Alex's broom mom. It's Miss Shear.
Okay.
I know. So what do you do if you have multiple moms that want to be?
Well, there's usually like a homeroom parent and then like a co-parent. But I mean, I just consider it a great problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I give whoever's the homeroom mom, I give them the list of like these moms want to help. So reach out.
Perfect.
Yeah,
okay.
So you can never have too many.
Now, is there any guidance if you do sign up to be a homeroom mom? So would you kind of guide those moms?
Oh, yes.
Because I would need guidance. I wouldn't know the first thing about trying to plan a party.
Yeah, we have a meeting.
Okay.
We always have a meeting.
Okay.
And it's going to be at the end of September. Actually, it's the night of our first general meeting. I don't have my calendar with me. I think it's maybe the 28th. Don't quote me on that. But
okay.
Right after our quick little general meeting, we're going to have a homeroom parent meeting. And I've got folders for everybody. You get a folder.
So you make it super easy.
And I give examples of stations and how to make it.
Okay.
Because really the kids don't have huge expectations. We like to keep it simple, like a couple little snacks.
Now, and you still do parties through, what'd you say, 5th grade? Or
through 5th grade, yes.
Through 5th grade, okay.
Yes.
So that's a lot of homeroom moms that you got to come up with.
Like 86.
Oh my! But if you get one that does it every year, then you've got like a repeat.
I do it every year too.
You know,
it's easier.
Oh, that's good. Okay, it gets easier as the kids get older. Is that what it is?
Yeah,
maybe.
And honestly, I taught kindergarten, so I thought like kindergarten's my jam. But as Lane got older, I'm like, man, these big kids are awesome.
Oh, I know.
So,
yeah.
Like you tell them to line up and for a picture, and I'm getting my camera, and I'm like, oh, you're
like, I don't have to do it.
Shoulder to shoulder.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
So it does get fun as they get older.
I can do it.
I think you.
I'm mom.
Listen. I worry about you because now you've got your job at Second Baptist.
Yes, but I'm done by 1:30.
I know, but then you come home and you're exhausted. When are you gonna?
Because you have the first couple
you have lesson plans.
Everyone's exhausted.
I know, but you have now you have your teaching plans, and then you're gonna have your PTA plans.
Well,
However, it sounds like
4 parties.
Well, and it sounds like you'll give her a little folder and give her some guidance, and then she really won't have much to do.
Creating the sign up genius and showing it for
That's
the
the hardest
part.
Yeah,
things that take
and it was
much
easy.
Time.
Okay.
What grade do you teach in preschool?
2 and 3 year olds.
Okay.
They're a lot, but
that is a lot.
But they're.
How's it going?
They love you.
Is it getting easier?
Can I talk about the pooping incident yesterday?
Oh no, what happened?
Oh
well,
gosh.
we're just gonna shift gears here.
So our class, we have the older 2s. So we already have 3-year-olds. All of them will be 3 by the end of this year. Which
is so good for you.
Really happy about because, oh my gosh, I feel so bad for the class next door to us, which is where Andrew's at.
Oh no.
But they had crying kids like all day long for the first couple weeks. Like I could hear them. And then I would be like, I can't tell if that's Andrew crying. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I would get like a big pot with a stick and I would just like hit it kind of like a cowbell. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like it's snacks and distractions. Throw out some snacks and give some distractions and then the kids stop crying. And
I mean, but our class has been great. So pretty much all of them except one can talk. Like,
good.
Can literally talk.
So you can understand them.
Yes, and so it's been like they've been doing crafts. We did like a whole unit on apples this last week.
Cute.
Did different crafts and learning the letter A. So it's cool, and we're doing Bible stories. And you should have heard my Jonah Bible story. Honestly, like
what did you act it out or something?
No, but our craft that day was because it was the second week, so we were still like adjusting, and it was like a print out Jonah picture for them to color. And our little Bible that we have, super short. Like I'm talking the little Bible that's like 6 sentences, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, this is not going to be enough for them. Like they love stories. Like I'm going to have to improvise. So we all have assistants. So my assistant's sitting over there, like across the room. And I start talking. And after each sentence, I like add things going on, and basically,
oh boy,
I was trying not to laugh. My assistant was just
she's probably like, what is she gonna do next?
She's cracking up, and I'm like, this is actually my hidden talent.
So what did you do? Like translate, like you would read what the story is, and then like translate it.
And then I would kind of like go into more detail, but then basically, what really helped them is I said, well, Jonah made God really upset. Because God told Jonah to go to this town to tell people about him. And Jonah was like, no thanks, man. I'm out of here.
How did they respond to that?
They were just like,
their seats.
They were literally like just staring. They stopped coloring. They were just like eyes. And I was like, okay, like, yes, let's keep going. And then I was like, so guess what? And they're like, what, Miss Megan? And I'm like, well, I'm like, Jonah got on a boat. I was like, and then God brought a storm to the ocean. They're like, looking at me, and I'm like, and then Jonah fell off the boat. And they're like, ugh. And I'm like, yeah, he fell off the boat in the water, the great big blue ocean. And they're like, looking at me as they're coloring, like, what's happening? And then
I feel like you need like wardrobe changes and stuff.
Right? Oh, yeah. But my favorite part was, I said, have you guys ever had a timeout? And of course, every single one is like, sometimes. And my favorite boy, I know I'm not supposed to have favorites, but I just love him. He goes, yeah, sometimes. And I'm like, Isaac, I bet you do get timeouts. But I was like, well, God was upset at Jonah. So Jonah was in a timeout. In the
That's a great way to relate to them.
And the whale of a belly. And they're like, really? And I'm like, yeah, for 3 days, not 2 minutes. Like, you guys are only allowed to have 3 whole days. And so it was great. But I was
Who knows what they're going to go home and tell their parents.
I know, right? I was
they're
like yeah. But then later
this lady's crazy.
I know, probably. But later I was like, okay, who we talk about? And Isaac goes, Jonah.
Well, I was going to say that probably did stick with them.
Yes, that's
instead of just reading it from the book.
But I was kind of worried because I'm like, 2-year-olds this year, like, I'm not going to even be able to teach. I'm just going to be watching these kids. And I've actually been we did counting with apples.
Yes.
And I'm just like,
I will say, even Lane, because Lane's only 6 months old, and, they send you pictures in the little ProCare app, which I absolutely love. And they said, today we counted circles. They said, here's the math lesson for today. And we counted circles. And they sent me little pictures. And, of course, all the babies are, like, lined up, on their bellies. But all the babies are just, like, watching as they're, like, going through this little book and counting circles. I was like, oh, my gosh, that's so precious.
It is. But anyway.
Because they soak up so much. That's awesome.
The incident yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
So pretty much all of our kids are potty trained. There's a couple in pull-ups, but they're already like halfway potty trained. There's one little boy who's not, and he poops every single day. And my assistant and I pretty much said, I'll take the boys because I have boys. She'll take the girls because she has the girls.
Perfect.
But she never has to change the girls' diapers because
girls are different. Yeah.
And then on top of that, she's
not
pregnant.
Fair.
So that was like one of the other reasons why, like she's like, I don't, and she's having another girl. So I was like, I've got the boys. Regretted that instantly. But
boys are stinkers when it comes to potty training.
But we have this little boy. He's so cute. And the first day of school, he had peed his pants 3 minutes into the day.
Just from nerves?
I don't know what it was. And so then we put a pull-up on him, and he peed through the pull-up. And I'm like, okay, this is not big enough. Like, obviously. And then his mom sent him in pull-ups. So I was like, okay, we're good. Well, he came in underwear. He wasn't here last week. And so he came in underwear this week, and he did great.
Good.
And then we had Grandparents' Day yesterday.
Yes.
So after Grandparents' Day, we get back to our room.
That's a good segue, Alice. That's a really good segue.
And I'm not really sure what's happening.
No, it's fine. Keep going.
I missed something, guys. I wasn't part of the meeting. I got here too late. Anyway, but we get back to our room. We're letting them play. We're about to have recess. And I'm like, I'm still super congested. And I'm like, I feel like I kind of smell something. And my assistant Jordan, she's like, I don't know. And so we walked around, and I was like, did anyone poop their pants? And they're like, no, we didn't. And usually they say yes.
Yeah.
If they have to go, they're great at it.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay. So Jordan takes them outside for recess.
You're like, diaper check, line up.
Yeah. So Jordan takes them outside for recess. I go get our supplies. And as I'm getting the supplies, she messages me, and she goes, pretty sure Bo pooped his pants. And I'm like, what? And she's like, he has underwear on.
Oh.
And I'm like,
Was his grandparents still there?
No.
That's true. That's true.
No.
Here you go. Perfect timing.
Yeah. So we come back to the room, and she goes, I see brown on his PJs because it's PJ day. So I was like, okay. So I go up to Bo, and I'm like, Bo, did you poop your pants? No.
Oh.
I was like, Bo, can you stand up, please, and turn around? And he stands up, turns around, and I see the brown, and I'm like,
oh, bless his heart.
I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go die right now. So I'm like, okay, Bo, let's go lay on the table. Let's figure out what's happening.
But they have a change of clothes, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But as I go to try to see what's going on, I realize that it's all over him.
Oh.
So then we have to radio in for gloves.
Oh.
And I have caught my own kids throw up. I have been pooped on. Everything.
It's different. It hits different when it's not your
and of course, I still have like that kind of cough, right? So I get a whiff, and I'm like,
stop. You're going to start gagging.
I'm like, oh no. And my assistant, Jordan, she's like, I'm staying over here. And I'm like,
she's like, hey, you're boys, I'm girls.
Yeah. So we get the gloves. I put the gloves on. I pull his pajamas off, and it's just getting worse.
Oh no.
And I put the pajama pants in the sink, and then I see that it's all over him, and it's stuck.
Uh-oh. So was he sick or something?
No. Like, I don't know. Like,
what happened?
I don't know if he pooped during grandparents in the morning. Like, I have no idea. So I'm like, oh my gosh. So I tell Jordan, I'm like, here, I need you to open up this bag, because all we have to do is put the poopy underwear in the bag. We don't have to rinse it out.
Yeah.
So she opens the bag for me, and as I pull the underwear off, we both greatly realize that it's full.
Oh.
It's not just like a little bit. Like, it is like sopping full of poo.
What a way to start your Friday morning to hear all this.
You're welcome, guys. And I go to put the underwear in the bag, and Jordan sees how much, and she immediately goes, no, and she books it across the room. No. I'm like in gloves. Like, I have like latex gloves on. And I'm like, oh my gosh. But as I get the whiff, I start gagging.
Yeah.
Then I start coughing. Jordan is gagging.
Please don't tell me you threw up.
No. But we're both over there, literally, like, we're laughing because we can't believe what's happening. Gagging, coughing, her face is red. I'm, like, doubled over. My hand's, like, on his legs to make sure he's not just going to, like, jump off the changing table. And
in those instances, you just got to work quick.
Yes. So,
like, you just got to, like.
I can do hard things.
Yes, that's literally what
I can do hard things.
I was like, okay, I can do this.
Yeah.
So I put him in the bag. She takes the bag. She's like, tying it, and I then start cleaning him, and this kid's just laying there.
He's like, oh, I don't have a care
in the world.
Yeah.
And I wiped him for 10 minutes.
Bless his heart.
I could not get all of it off, like, until, like, it took me 10 minutes to get it all off.
It's too bad you guys don't have a shower.
No, but exactly. So I was just like, when we were done, like, there was poop on the changing pad, and I was just like,
there was a lot of disinfecting.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I was like, oh my gosh.
You're like, I did not expect to have to deal with this.
This is not. I looked at Jordan. I was like, I don't get paid enough for this. Like,
yeah.
What just happened? So I finally done, and it's lunchtime. We give them lunch, and I'm like, okay.
But yeah, when did the grandparents, would they?
It was like 9 to 9:45.
Oh, okay.
So recess was 10 to 10:20. So this was shortly after that. And we usually have lunch like 11.
Okay.
And so I was like, okay, this just disrupted our morning plans, but that's fine. I'm going to go warm up my lunch. Well, the little boy that does poop every day, which usually is after lunch, clockwork, he walks past, and I look at him, and I'm like,
you're like,
and so
round 2.
Jordan goes up, and she barely feels it. She goes, "Oh yeah, he did."
See, but now you're worn in. You already know what you got to do.
I was like, okay.
See, you're just getting better every day.
Jordan goes, "If I wasn't pregnant, you'd make me change that, wouldn't you?" And I was like, "Yes, I would have."
I know, but now,
yes, I would have.
That's the way to just break it right in.
Yeah, but it was just like, but then after all that, she and I sat down, and we were like,
that was exhausting.
Like, I'm so tired right now.
Yeah, that
like,
doesn't sound fun.
I just want to go to sleep. It was funny, but
yeah.
And then I felt bad, so then I brought him out to his car, and I see his grandma, and I'm like, hey, just so you know, like, I don't know if Tabitha, our boss, because his grandma used to work for the preschool, but she has a new grandbaby. So I was like, did Tabitha tell you? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, okay, like, it's full. Like, I would throw it out.
Yeah, just be done. Cut your losses.
I would probably just toss them
and
in
those
the
poor
trash.
pajamas. You know, pajama day sounds like good in theory, but I always cringe. Does anyone else? Am I the only one? Like, I cringe whenever I have to send them in pajamas because I'm like, they sleep in those, like, in their bed, and their bed's clean and all that. So I picture, especially Parker being older, I picture him outside in the dirt and the rocks, and then he, probably gets a hole in the pants, and it's like, oh, I really like those pajamas. So, of course, we try not to send him in the pajamas that we like, but yeah. I don't know. Me and Phil always cringe, and we're like, oh, like we probably need to get some just for pajama day. Mm-hmm. And then he doesn't wear those to bed, maybe, I don't know.
So far, so good.
So my segue about Grandparents' Day, we were just discussing this, that we were curious why, we're gonna try to find out the answer of why Rogersville doesn't do Grandparents' Day. And she said they used to, long time ago. but maybe stopped because of COVID.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I have to,
So we're just curious why, because I've got nieces and nephews in Fairgrove and Stratford, and they did their Grandparents' Day. Second Baptist did their Grandparents' Day, and we didn't have anything like that. So yeah, we're just curious about, maybe we can find that out. Phil suggests I go to like a school board meeting.
yeah. Or you could come to a PTA meeting.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
Well, I guess actually school board, I don't know if they would.
I know that's what, so
Do you
that's
have to
why,
get permission.
that's what I was going to
That's
ask
the
you.
question,
I was
school
going to
board?
say, I don't know.
I've never been to one. That's which is
See,
embarrassing,
Phil's
but-
mom, they live in Mountain Grove, and she has to go to the school board meetings because she's like the bookkeeper. She's like right underneath the superintendent. So she goes to all the school board meetings. But so she's like on the board, she's not like a guest, So I've never been to anything like that.
I feel like the principals are so awesome. You could even just like
I
email
still
them
get
and be
get
like,
intimidated.
Oh,
Is that
really?
I know?
They're
Yes,
so great. Like I feel like if you just sent an email like, "Hey, are there plans for Grandparents' Day?"
Oh, okay.
Do you
might
know,
be able to
yeah. No, I get so intimidated.
Do you know who the high school principal is?
No, my oldest is in 6th grade, so I'm like, I got the 3 elementary schools
I
down.
was just curious because I didn't know if it was the same principal I had.
Oh, well,
are
no,
you
you
from
said
Rogersville?
yeah.
How would you
No,
say? Not really
ish.
from 8th grade to senior
She moved
year.
here in 8th grade.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Um.
so I'm back in Rogersville.
Also, we got to tie this up because the boys got to go to school. But do you have any areas in PTA that you really need parents to step
I'm so
up?
glad you asked. So, yes, we have some events happening this year. Our first one is going to be like a pumpkin picnic at the park, the Rogersville Park.
Okay.
It's on October 8th.
I'm making a note of this.
Saturday,
a pumpkin picnic.
From
Okay.
10 to 1. And we're going to have a $5 lunch option of like sandwiches, chips, a drink, and then like some special fall snack and like a photo booth. And so we're, for a couple of years because of COVID, just the officers did most of the work, but we used to have like committees. So it would be like the PTA Pumpkin Picnic Committee, and then they take it and run with it. And we're going to do some new things this year. We're going to have a family Valentine's dance.
Ooh.
Around Valentine's. So
okay.
like if parents want to so we're going to have all these committees. I actually brought a list. The Valentine's dance. Oh, and we do teacher appreciation in the spring. And that is a big undertaking because there's 3 buildings and we want our teachers to feel appreciated.
Of course.
And so the more hands on deck makes it a lot better. And then we have Boosterthon, our fundraiser, which we usually do in the fall. But just because everything happens kind of in the fall with buying school supplies, we thought maybe we would wait and do our fundraiser in the spring. So we're going to try that this year, where they run the laps and Boosterthon comes in and does all that. And then we have, we'll be ordering Wildcat wear, which is like spirit wear.
You guys do a lot of stuff. See, this is stuff I didn't.
It would be awesome. So join the PTA so you
Yes.
can like know everything that's.
So now, how many members do you typically have?
That's a great question. I have
is it
never
a
been
lot?
there. So used to there would be a membership committee, and
Okay.
we would hand like this part of the year. The beginning of the year is collecting a lot of information and then like separating it. Like memberships, homeroom parents, homeroom people that just want to be volunteers. It's just a lot at the very beginning of collecting information and then, like I said, sorting it. But I've never been on the membership committee. Well, I always had a baby with me when Gavin was little, and that was a lot at the beginning of the year. So that is a great question. I'm not sure how many we usually.
But you could always
average.
use more.
Yeah.
I mean, of course.
Yeah. And
Okay.
again, even if you can't help, it's just a good way to support the PTA, support the schools, the teachers, and then just be aware. Just be like kind of in the know, like events and stuff.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to help, but you know that like.
Well, and speaking of, I think I first met you at the Country Christmas store.
Oh,
So you guys do that
yes.
too, right? You coordinate all that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm surprised that's not on my list. That's one of our biggest undertakings. And I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's
the
good.
the more helpers we have, because we have to do all the shopping and we pre-wrap now. And
That was
it
a
is
lot of work.
Well, and used to,
I don't even
we
know what you guys are
had
talking about.
wrappers.
The Country Christmas store that they did last year, they went shopping.
Buy little gifts.
I worked it. I helped work it. But anyways, yeah,
Oh,
we'll
fill
catch
you
you.
in.
Yeah, I was going to say, we'll catch you up. But yeah, they
Homeroom mom,
pre-wrapped.
too.
So you guys
I don't even
pre-wrapped
know.
all
That
those.
has nothing to do with Homeroom
Okay.
Mom.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
no.
did business
But yeah,
event.
you guys pre-wrapped all those,
Pre-wrapped
which was
them.
so amazing though, because then the kids just walked through and they saw what it was, and then you just grab it, put it
Yes.
in your little bag. It was
And
perfect.
That is so much better because used to we had a million choices and they had like decision paralysis, especially the little kids were like, does your mom like nail polish? Does your mom like scrunchie? You know what I mean? But
Yes.
so this was awesome. There were like 3 or 4 options.
Yes.
But used to we had people come wrap too. So they would pick out all their gifts and then you'd go sit and parents are like wrapping
Oh, I
the
bet that was
bags,
hectic.
Like, yes. The
Oh, wow.
PTA girls last year came up with that. It was
Oh, that
awesome.
was perfect. Oh, that's right, because they were in the sandwich bags. That's right.
Yeah, like the little gift bags.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
See, that's something I would probably love to help out with because I love stuff like
girl,
that. Just
come
like sitting
on.
there and putting it all,
Yes.
together. I could
Yes.
totally do that.
Yes.
Well, I didn't join the PTA last year, but I think I'm going to do it this year.
you
I don't
totally
know.
should.
I don't know if I'm brave enough to be
Parker's class will get a
homeroom.
point.
Oh, that's true. I better tell him that so that he doesn't try to blame me if they don't win anything. But I don't know if I'm brave enough to be a homeroom mom. But
You could do it.
I don't know.
But you could just, even if you can't be the homeroom mom, you'll get the Sign Up Genius if you want to send anything, or if you want to come to the party and help. Like a lot of the parents, I think, have kind of taken to the stations idea. It's a lot easier to manage because sometimes, and you said you managed whole group and it was perfect. So
Yeah, they
I
did
think
great.
there are multiple ways to do it, but like you come and just jump in and
Okay.
on the party day. So you don't have to have pressure of planning it.
Okay.
I will
well,
say,
but
though,
I was going to
when
say I
you're
have
homeroom
Lane.
Mom, yeah, but when you're homeroom mom, you got to go to every party and like.
Yes, I was going to ask that question
Kind
too
of
because I know
makes
last year
It'll be
they said you
different
can
this
only
year.
go to
It
one
will be-
party per year.
Yes, you don't have to manage all of that, like how many parents come. But I think I can't remember, the principals had a really great way because it is nice to not have a million people in the building.
Yeah.
They had a really great way of wording it. I need to double check, but maybe like one or two people, like, I don't want to get it wrong, like not aunts and uncles and grandparents.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
It just gets overwhelming. And then especially at the upper, those classrooms are so small. When you get a million people, the kids can't even have fun. And that was kind of their point. It's not that we want you not to be able
True.
to come and partake.
Yeah.
It gets so many people in there and they can't even have room to do anything.
And it gets hectic. I mean, it
Yeah.
really gets hectic whenever you're trying to have a little party, even if
So-
you have stations or not stations and you're doing activities and stuff. I mean, it gets a little hectic. So I can't imagine it'd be really crowded.
So that link online, is that also the link that will say if you want to be homeroom mom for your kids' class, or is that just for the $5 PTA sign up?
I can't remember. There was a QR code. I can send you a link. For, there was a separate QR code for Homeroom Mom, but that one might also say if you're interested in.
Okay.
Just the
And
PTA.
then maybe it has you.
But this year I got you.
Now,
This year, first grade.
I was going to say, if no one signs up, I'm sure you hear this a lot. If no one signs up for my kids' class, then I would reluctantly do it. But so just keep that in mind if no one signs up for Parker's class.
So, like I said, I've had a good turnout. I've had a good response.
That's
I
awesome.
was pleasantly surprised.
That's awesome.
But then I'll also have people that even if they didn't sign up for the parent position, if they signed up to be a volunteer, then I'll soon, like next week, need to dabble in like those people, like reaching out and seeing.
Sure.
We will not just assign you to be homeroom mom. I think that's
what happened to me
I was going to say, I think I just heard not a horror story. I think I just heard a story about something like that happening. That will not happen. Now we'll contact you, but those are the people we'll reach out to.
Okay. Well, perfect.
Yeah.
So if anyone's out there that was kind of like me and like, kind of scared to join, now you know.
Oh, yeah, don't be
Now
scared.
you know all
I
your
will say,
information.
like last year, like before the homeroom mom stuff, I was like PTA, like I can be PTA mom, and then I was like, I don't know what PTA mom does. Like what is like
or a
what's happening?
homeroom mom.
Yeah, but also PTA. Like
Oh.
I got the thing that's
And
like
I
join
was
the PTA.
probably like total minority, but I was a kindergarten teacher. And so like, I remember when Lane started kindergarten, I was like seeking out like the president at the time, her name was Brenda. I remember being like, hi, like I'm ready to join the PTA. Like, I was so
cute.
Because I'd always been the teacher.
Yes.
In the PTA, but I was so
and you
excited
know
about
how
being the
important,
parent.
as a
Yeah.
teacher, you know how important the PTA is.
Yeah.
And so, of course,
And I just love being in a school. Like, I just sometimes feel like I'm too probably comfortable in the schools because I feel like I'm supposed to be there, but I'm definitely not.
No, that's so
I love
good.
it.
That's awesome. Okay, well, cool. Thank you so much for all the information.
Thanks for having me.
Yes. And I guess if you have, so you'll send, is there any way you can put the link on our comments on this video?
Yeah.
So like after we're done, maybe you can share that?
Yeah.
I think that might
Show
be.
me how to do that.
That'd be great. Yeah, I think that'd be good. And that way everyone can just do a little one-click thing. Because September 16th is the deadline to sign up for that. And then there's a meeting, you said, towards the end of September.
Yes.
Okay.
And
And then
that's
the
our
first
PTA meeting, and that's when the people that are assigned to homeroom parent, bad in the habit of saying moms. Most of them are moms, but it could be a dad if they wanted to.
Okay, sure.
But it will be that same night.
Okay.
We'll have our little handout folders, and if they can't, a lot of times we have people that can't make it, and so then, and they've already been contacted, so they know they're not going to be surprised with a folder. Just send it home with their kid.
Perfect. And then the first event is the pumpkin picnic.
Yes, October 8th.
October
It's
8th.
gonna be fun,
All
yeah.
right. Cool beans. Okay. Well, cool. I think that's it for us today, guys. Have a wonderful weekend. Fall weekend. Yay.
Yay, 70 degrees
Fall's
Sunday.
here. I love it. Yeah.
Okay. It's not working.